Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I am Harbinger the Pentagenarian. I am a 56-year-old veteran that enjoys watching music videos that I have not seen before and doing reactions to them. Today I am checking out Home Free Brothers in Arms. This was a huge recommendation when I did Home Free earlier, and I am getting back around to doing more Home Free. So I am going to sit and I just by looking at the clip that I have here, the thumbnail, I have a very good idea of what the song's about. So it should be interesting. Um, yeah, we're going to get into this, and if you like what you see, please click like. If you don't, well, click dislike or click like if you're feeling magnanimous. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have anything to say, please leave a comment below. And here we go. All right, let's check this out together, shall we?
These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me, but my home is the lowlands and always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and you'll no longer burn to be brothers in arms.
Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battles raged higher. And though they did hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms. There's so many different worlds, so many different suns, and we have just one world, but we live in different ones.
Now the sun's gone to hell, and the moon's riding high. Let me bid you farewell. Every man has to die, but it's written in the starlight. every line in your palm. We're forced to make war on our brothers in arms.
Respect to that. Let's talk about that. Something that some people do not understand or cannot understand is that when you're standing in a formation, you might not like the guy standing at your left and standing at your right. You might think they're the worst kind of son of a bitch on the face of the planet you can think of. But when you are deployed and when you go outside the gate, those two same individuals become your brothers. They become your brothers 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, because that's where they're going to be positioned when you do a mission. And everybody out there has really one goal besides the completion of the mission, and that's to get everybody back to the cantonment or the base alive, or at least in one piece. I don't know of any other, I guess, brotherhood that has that same kind of dichotomy in the way it operates. I guess, and again, I don't know because I've never been a police officer or a fireman or fire person, whatever they're being called these days. But there's something intrinsically bonding about the fact that that son of a bitch that you might not stand when you're in the barracks right now, he's got your 9 o'clock, and that other one's got your 3 o'clock. And that's one of the reasons why there is such a bond. Because people from different walks of life, from different political and religious backgrounds, when they're put into that situation, none of that really matters. I remember a drill sergeant telling us when I was in basic training that I don't give a damn if you are black, white, yellow, green, purple, red, it doesn't matter. He says, because if you're shot or wounded, everybody bleeds red. And I think that was a bit of an eye opener for a lot of the kids that were in there. I went in when I was 25. But there were a lot of 17 and 18-year-olds there that never really had that kind of a straightforward conversation about the reality of this. I remember getting ready when they finally made the decision to deploy us to Haiti. We didn't know if we were going in as occupiers or invaders, and there was a big difference between the two. And I remember when the announcement was made, the squad leader took myself and another corporal into his barracks room. We were the two team leaders, and we got all the guys together, and he said, well, it's been confirmed. We are going to Haiti. And I remember one of the soldiers that was in the room asked the other corporal for a cigarette. And his response was, you don't smoke. And the kid said, I do now. But I remember their names. I remember their faces. I remember the the smart things that we did, and I remember the dumb things we did. And thankfully, Haiti was a peaceful mission, but it wasn't necessarily going to be that way. It all depended upon that 11th hour decision. And fortunately, the decision was made that we were going to be occupying instead of invading. But we weren't even 100% sure of that when we hit the ground. And every single person there knew what their job was, and or actually what their jobs were. Everybody had a primary mission of, we're going to clear this building, we're going to blow that gate. But your other missions included making sure the guy next to you got back home to see his wife and kids alive. And that was his job for you, and that was his job for you. And the guy behind you's job for you. And this was something that was always on the mind. And once we got into a base camp type of area, everybody shuffled off into their own cliques. But you go outside that gate, and again, all that shit just disappeared. Because everybody knew that those 6 guys in that Humvee for the next 2 hours were going to be the best brothers that you've ever seen. And that's what a lot of the appeal to this song is because when you're in that situation, all the other crap doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a Muslim. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian. Doesn't matter if you're a Hindu. Doesn't matter if you're a pagan. When you're watching someone else's back and they're watching yours, it just does not matter. In the last part of that song, that brothers in arms should not be put against brothers in arms, you have to agree with that, because if you look at something like the Christmas truce, the I'm not going to say legendary because it happened, but with the first Christmas of World War I. If you don't know what the Christmas truce is, just literally just type in the Christmas truce and it will tell you about it. It was a night when the two sides were singing Christmas carols, and they started having competitions to see who could sing louder. And at one point, one of the Germans called across, this is one of the stories, and asked one of the Brits if he had any cigarettes. And the Brit was like, yeah, do you guys have any of, whatever it was? He says, yeah, we have that. And one guy stands up and starts to walk across no man's land. And he was met, and then all of a sudden, all the soldiers came out of the trenches. And in that period of time, they were all brothers in arms. And that's the important thing to understand. Men and women do not start wars, they fight them. And this is something I've said before, and I'll say it again. Men and women do not start wars, they fight them and die in them. The people that start them are politicians, megalomaniacs, and dictators. And not one of them has ever been killed in combat because they don't give a damn about the dead on the battlefield. They care about that foot or 2 feet that the dead may have won or lost. But they don't really care. The people that care are the generals that get their orders from Washington and tell them, I need your division to go in there and take that hill. The general then has to tell his commanders to tell their troops they need to go in and take that hill. When you consider the loss of life in World War I, you would have thought that politicians would have learned a lesson. You would have thought that there would have been an end to dictatorships. Nope. Then we got World War II. And since then, we have had countless other wars, all because Someone has an ideology that they want to impose upon another people. Will it ever end? I don't know. Maybe once we kill each other off to a point where we can no longer sustain a population, people will suddenly realize this is really stupid. I'm fighting because Joe took an acre of my land, so I'm going to kill his family. Just ponder that. That's what it boils down to. And the question I'm going to ask to anybody who's actually lasted this long, is that human nature? Or is that just something we learned from the mistakes of the past? Is it something that we can unlearn? There is evidence of civilizations at one point that had no walls around their cities because they weren't afraid of warfare. But all it takes is one jackass to decide that he wants something that someone else has. I'm going to stop there because I'm waxing philosophical. And that's never a good thing. So, you guys, take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. Don't be a dick because the world has enough of them. Until next time, take it easy. Bye-bye.